didn't stop our banana to grow. So it doesn't make sense that today Africans, we are saying that we are so hungry because of the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. Africa, we have wheat. Africa, we have cassava. Africa, we have potatoes. We have yams. Africa, we have maize. So let us use our own food. Why we depend on Russian food? Why we depend on Ukrainian food? So don't play the tune of others. We as Africans, we need to play our part. And remember, those who feed you controls you. That's the reality. So we have the war fought here in the continent of Africa, but we are not talking about that war. We are not talking about the effect of the war in Congo. We are not talking about the effect of the war in northern Nigeria. But we are saying Africa, we are so hungry because of the effect of conflict between Russia and Ukraine. Is it true? Is it true that Ukraine and Russia are stopping Africa crops to grow? Is it true that Ukrainians and Russians are stopping Africans from creating their own fertilizers? Africa, we have manure. Why you can't use manure to produce our own food? Is it true that our ancestors are bled from Ukraine, from Russia? Is it true? Because today people are just speaking about the shortage of bread. So let us play our tune, not to play the tune of others. We have many issues concerning about the continent of Africa, but today you will wonder how some Africans speaking about Africa will be affected by the anger because of shortage of fertilizers. Please go and build the industries to produce enough fertilizers. Use these opportunities to produce enough food to sell to Russia. When Russia was selling us the weapons, selling us gas and oil, let us now, we Africans, produce enough food to sell to them. Stop this crying baby. I remember the words of Yoweri Kaguta Museveni when he said, there's cassava. Go and eat cassava. You know, the people who are living maybe in town, in cities, are those who just lamenting. But all in all, here in the continent of Africa, especially in rural areas, there's enough cassava, there's enough potatoes, there's enough even wheat. So why are we crying for the things from last year in the somewhere else? We are talking about the shortage of fertilizers. Why we can't produce our own fertilizers? That's the question. So, dear friends and fellow Africans, the time has come for Africa to have our own things. Let us take decision and responsibilities. When you hear the Africans talking about the effect of the war in Ukraine and Russia, ask him or her, do you know the effect of the war in Congo? We know that many materials that are used in electronic devices are coming from Congo. Have you seen the industries stopped to produce mobile phones, smartphones, computers and other peripherals because there's a war in Congo? Ask yourself. Have you heard that the mining companies have stopped their activities in Congo? Oil has been stopped produced in Nigeria because there's a war in northern Nigeria. Things is still going. But here in the continent of Africa, the war is fought outside of the continent, but we are lamenting. We have our own land, we have our own manure, we have everything is here in the continent of Africa. But we are talking about the things that are far from here. We are talking about Russia. Just look how far from Africa and Russia. Is it true that Russia is stopping us from producing our food? Is it true that we can't eat because of Russia, we can't survive because of Russia? Is it true that Africa will depend on the bread only? It doesn't make sense. My dear friends and my fellow Africans, let us take our responsibilities. Don't play the tune of others. Let us play our own tune. Let us play Ngoma. Ngoma means dance, African dance. Let us play African dance. So, my dear friends, it's our time to take our responsibilities, to feed our people, to do our own things, to produce our food, to produce our stuffs, as Russia has been doing, as America has been doing, as Chinese has been doing. So we need also Africa to do the same, to produce our own things. Thank you.